Today, let's talk about a scary incident that happened in Bangalore on October 23, 2018. A company named Oracle, and they had an office on the 7th floor of a building. It was late at night, around 11:45 p.m., and everyone was working the night shift. Then, a security guard tells one of the employees that two people are waiting to meet him in the waiting room. The employee is surprised because it's so late, and he's never had friends visit him at this time before. He feels a little scared but goes to the waiting room anyway to see who they are. When the employee goes up to them, one of the men says, "Hello, Mr. Tarun." The employee is surprised and starts trembling because he hadn't heard that name for almost 15 years. No one had called him by this name before. Everyone, his friends, family and colleagues knew him as Parvin Batal, not Tarun. This man had kept his true identity hidden. But now, after so long, he hears his old name again. As one of the men shakes hands with him, he notices that one of Tarun's fingers is broken. Then, the man says, "Okay, Mr. Tarun, your game is over. We're taking you to your real home. Downstairs, there's a police car waiting." These two men weren't just anyone, they were police officers. They take Tarun to Ahmedabad on October 24, 2018. During this time, a police officer sends a message to a senior officer with just one line: "We have shown him." Tarun was still sitting there thinking about how the police caught him after 15 years, and how did the police finally reach him? Now, the question is, who was Tarun, and why did he needed to hide his identity? Stitch with us, Turnt Media show you the original facts and circumstances behind this. Let's check it out. In Ahmedabad, there was a newlywed couple. Husband's name was Tarun, and wife's name was Sajni. They got married just 3 months earlier from the incident, in December 2002. Tarun was a sports teacher and a volleyball coach at school, while Sajni worked at a bank. Their marriage was arranged. They lived in an apartment together. Whenever Tarun had to leave for a volleyball match, he would tell Sajni not to stay alone in the apartment because there were often thefts. So, whenever Tarun had a match, she would go to her father's house, which wasn't far away. The last time Sajni went to her father's house was on February 5, 2003. When she was leaving, she told her dad she needed money for gas. Her dad was surprised and asked if her husband was taking good care of her. She looked upset and said, "Dad, it's not like that." Then she left. Her dad found it strange and felt like something might be wrong between them, but he didn't think it was a big deal because couples sometimes argue. On February 14, 2003, around 7:30 p.m., Sajni talked to her elder sister on the phone for about 15 minutes. Exactly 2 hours later, Tarun called Sajni's father and urgently asked him to come to the hospital because Sajni was very sick. When the family got to the hospital, they found out Sajni had died. She was strangled with a scarf. Tarun was sitting in a corner, crying loudly. He told the police that some jewelry and money were stolen from their house, and everything was scattered around. The police thought maybe thieves came and caused Sajni's. Tarun was in a terrible state, crying uncontrollably, and due to grief, his condition worsened even more. Therefore, he couldn't even attend his wife's funeral. During this time, Tarun was admitted to the hospital because his condition got worse, and his family was providing him with emotional support. On the other hand, the police were compiling a list of all the thieves in the area. On February 16, 2003, the police received a call from Tarun's elder brother saying that Tarun had escaped from the hospital. The police were shocked because nobody was watching Tarun at the hospital. They thought Tarun was innocent because he seemed really sad and pitiful, so they let him stay in the hospital. But now he was gone, and people started suspecting the police. Sajni's family asked why the police let Tarun escape. This case became big news, and the police were under a lot of pressure. They searched everywhere for Tarun, even blocking off parts of the city, but they couldn't find him. Despite all the searching, there was no sign of Tarun. The police offered a reward for information about Tarun, hoping someone would help. They promised 1 lakh rupees to anyone who provided information, but even with this incentive, they didn't get any useful leads. Their efforts didn't work out. Police found out that Tarun had been bothering Sajni since they got married because he was having an affair with another girl. Police gradually traced the girl with whom Tarun had an affair. The girl informed the police that on February 16th, Tarun called her and proposed marriage, but she refused. However, by that time she had already received news of Sajni and didn't want to marry someone involved in a murder. After that, Tarun and the girl didn't talk anymore. 6 years passed, and there was no news about Tarun. The police watched Tarun's family closely, thinking he might come back, but he never did. Then, exactly 6 years after the incident, sadly, his father died. The police thought Tarun would come back for his father's funeral, but he didn't. The police were keeping an eye on Tarun's mother's phone calls, hoping to find a clue about Tarun's whereabouts. One day, she got a call from a landline in Bangalore, a city known as the Silicon Valley of India. The number belonged to a customer service center of a company called Oracle. This made the police curious about the connection between Tarun's mother and Oracle. After many years of searching, the police finally had a small lead. They sent a team from Ahmedabad to Bangalore thinking Tarun might be working at Oracle. On October 22, 2018, they went to Bangalore and met with Oracle's HR department. They asked for the list of all employees without saying they were looking for someone specific. They said they needed the list for law and order purposes. The HR department gave them the list of employees. The police didn't find Tarun's name on the employee list from Oracle, which made them feel discouraged. But one name, Parvin Patel, caught their attention. They remembered that Tarun's mother talked to a man named Parvin Patel sometimes, along with his wife Nisha. So they started investigating Parvin and Nisha. They found out that Parvin and Nisha weren't active on social media, which was unusual. Also, they had 2 kids. On October 23rd, 2 police officers went to the Oracle office in Bangalore, where Parvin Patel worked. When one of the officers shook hands with Parvin, he recognized Tarun's broken finger and said, "Tarun, your game is over." Parvin's condition got worse when he heard the name Tarun. Tarun killed her wife to marry his lover Nisha, but Nisha refused the proposal. Tarun was caught because he accidentally called his office's landline number instead of his mobile phone to contact his mother. If he hadn't made that mistake, he might never have been caught. This is a story about someone who fooled the police for 15 years but got caught because of a small mistake. If you liked our video, please like and share it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel Turnt Media. Thank you.